I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I feel like it's very important for me to speak on this because I kept my mouth shut for so long. I did touch on it a couple times in different situations, but I really want to get my whole story out there and let everything just be out, because that's the thing with these places is you have no evidence. You don't have a phone there. They don't have cameras there. Like, there's no evidence of none of this. And obviously all the staff is in on it, so they're not going to snitch on each other. All you really have is the kids that are there. So a young lady, her name is Hannah, she recently spoke out because while she was there, she was sexually assaulted, and then when she reported that she was assaulted, she was punished by staff. Now, when I seen the punishment she was given, I knew like, okay, I really have to say something. Like, I really have to have her back on this because I truly believe that they did that. So, Dr. Phil, I'm going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way. Somewhere in the middle of August, I went on the Dr. Phil show, and my mom and my grandma knew they were sending me here. I didn't know I was going. I went school shopping right before because the school was supposed to start when I got home from LA from doing the show. So part of the whole Dr. Phil show is they send these kids to either Turnabout or these other programs that are also in Utah, but they're all wilderness programs and they're all fucked up. Okay, so Turnabout is in the middle of Escalante, Utah. It's a very, 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 very small town. It's got one gas station, one grocery store. Everybody knows everybody there. You see you're in the middle of nowhere. You know there's nowhere to run. If you try to run out there, they're gonna find you, you're gonna get in more trouble, or if you do get away, you're gonna get eaten by a coyote or something. Because took in there against my will. They give you transporters. Transporters are two people, a male and a female, that come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going. They just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping. We got there, I got out of the car, and I just seen it looked like nothing. It was just super dark. I seen like all the circles and stuff, and I seen the little cabin, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not built for this. Like, I'm this little bougie ass. So for the first 3 days you're there, it's no showering. They put you in a circle, which is it's a teepee. It's a little teepee, but it's open, and you have to sit there for 3 days. They wouldn't let me lay down for nothing. Like, I was falling asleep and they were like, get up. So I'm just sitting here like, this is gonna be really bad. When I seen these people have no sympathy, I was like, oh, I'm really doomed. They strip you from your whole personality. You have to act like just whoever they want you to act like. They told me, okay, these are what your chores are gonna be. I don't remember what they were, but they were like, these are what your chores are gonna be. This is what you're gonna be doing. Here's your level 1 binder. You do the same thing every day, chop wood, take care of the animals. This place is all about taking away privileges. Like, okay, yeah, the phone is a privilege, TV, like all that, but they take away like necessity privileges, like sleeping on a bed, eating good food, not being cold. I remember the first time I got in trouble. Now, this is my first time being here. Like, I don't really, like, yeah, y'all explain to me the rules, but I'm 13. Like, I don't really know, like, exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. There's been times where I reported another student acting inappropriate or just anything like that. Didn't even have to do with me, and I would get in trouble for just witnessing it. If you reported another kid, like, getting bullied by, like, their peers or something, they would just say, well, maybe that's what they need, or, like, something like that. Even though there was written rules, if a staff was angry at the moment, or if you just did something that they felt was bad, you would get your own punishment. Like, they would make up their own punishment for you. So it's really frustrating because even if you don't know the rules, if you fuck up, you're still in trouble. There's not no I didn't know. You're still in deep shit. Shit that's minor is major to them. So if you do something like the tiniest thing, you get a check. If not, you have to be on reflection. Reflection is the punishment. When you do something so bad, or if you do anything that ticks them off, you have to go on reflection. You walk in the arena for hours on end. You sit outside in the cold on the floor. You have to pick up piles in a wheelbarrow of horse shit, and they want big piles. So if you have to do 25 piles, you're really doing like 50 wheelbarrows. So while I was there, just a lot of crazy things happened. I seen a kid get held down for trying to leave. Just honestly, I don't think he was trying to run away. I think he was just trying to like walk out the door and just like get some time to himself, and they restrained him. They held him down. They had no problem holding kids down, which is against the law. You're not supposed to touch the kids, but they had no problem doing that. It's just our word against the staff's word when you're there, because there's no witnesses, there's no cameras, you don't have a phone, there's none of that. That's why I was always so scared to speak out, because it's like no one's gonna believe me. A lot of things that like happened to me there, I was it hurt me so bad because I was genuinely like confused. I'm writing letters to my mom like, Mom, I will do anything. Like, you don't understand what this place is like. Like, you can't do this to me. Like, I will do anything. I will do therapy every day. Like, I will go through an outpatient program, all that. Like, just please let me come home. The staff when I got there was this dude Jimmy and this dude Ted. These are the night staff. 2 of the night staffs around me. They were really, really sweet. One morning I was cleaning up for breakfast and one of the staff members was standing right next to me and she had her walkie on her, so I heard everything. One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies like it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us not to tell us anything. A day later, they have us all, every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle and they're like, listen, there was an incident, I know some of y'all heard it over the walkies, Jimmy died. And so we're all freaking out because Jimmy was, like I said, he was one of them that was there the first day I got there. He was really sweet. Not only did Jimmy die, but one of the other staff members that was there at the time, Alicia, who was the daughter of the nurse. Alicia, she was also injured, and 2 years later she died, and she was also left disabled after being attacked by Clay. So the mother of the kid Clay who killed the staff, she was married to the brother of the president of the program, which I also believe is a conflict of interest. I don't know why they would do that. So it was really sad. Like, they wouldn't tell us what happened and all that. And any of the kids that were there, like, they couldn't talk about it, but they were like really traumatized by it. Even the ones that weren't there were traumatized by it. Like, I heard it over the walkie. Like, that's scary. Like so you got kids here that are killing people. And like I said earlier, my mom had always threatened me as like, oh, I'm sending you away, but she never did it. This was the first time she really did it. Like, I never thought my mom would do this. So what parents need to understand is if your child is acting out because of trauma, like sexual abuse, or maybe like the kid's parents got divorced, or just anything like that, you don't send your kid to a program like this. You need to send your kid to a program where they're not being punished, and it's not about, everything's not about you're in trouble, and it's just really fucked up. You're just using children to keep your ranch going, and you're not even feeding them or letting them sleep in decent conditions. Just doing things that no one would ever want done to their child, and not even that, and doing it to kids who are so helpless. And when you know that you're watching their letters, you know that they don't have any contact with their parents. So I'm not really sure why Dr. Phil still sends kids here. It really doesn't make sense. Like, are you trying to help them, or are you trying to hurt them even more? Because, I mean, we all know he's a phony as it is, but like, don't be sending kids somewhere just to make it look like you're trying to do something. There was already lawsuits before I went there. There's now many more after, but there was one as far back as 2012. Now, this place has been going since the 90s, I think. So I could just imagine like how much bad stuff has happened there. These are documented things that have happened, and just the abuse, the malnourishing, physical abuse, mental abuse, all that, and this place is still up and running. It just doesn't make sense. How could you not know about the murder? It was on national news. How could you not know about that?
Bad. Welcome back to Banfield. My guest for the hour, the inimitable Dr. Phil McGraw. So, Phil, I'm reading the New York Post this weekend. I open up this story about a teen rapper named Bhabie, B-H-A-B-I, and her real name is Danielle bragoli, and she's saying, I want an apology from Dr. Phil, and if I don't get an apology by some date, I'm going to handle it my own way. She says that I was on his show 5 years ago, and I was recommended to go off to this boot camp, and they were abusive at this boot camp. I want to play this, the soundbite from your show, so everybody knows who this person is and what she was like at 13 years old. Her mom brought her on the show to say, I can't handle her anymore. So here's that moment off your show.
And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep. Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Catch her outside, and she'll go outside and do what she has to do. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, I had a vague recollection of that young. And by the way, let's remind everyone, that was 13. not sure how I would have handled that 13-year-old if she were my 13-year-old. But let's talk about her and what she's now doing in her accusations. She says that the place that she was recommended to go was abusive to her, wouldn't let her sleep. What are your responses to her?
Well, you know, she went to Turnabout 4 or 5 years ago, and if she had a bad experience, you know, obviously I would hate that. We'd be sorry about that, but we don't have anything to do with what happens with guests once they leave the stage. I mean, that's between the guardian and the parent and whatever facility they go to. So we're not involved in that. We don't have any feedback from them. So whatever happens once they're there, that's between them and the facility. I assume she had a problem. She filed a complaint with the proper authorities or something 5 years ago. So I really don't know much about it.
So there's the other issue is like when you have a child like that who is incorrigible. I mean, I just watched that behavior and I thought, wow, first of all, calling a group of people you don't know who are mostly your elders a bunch of hoes and then saying, catch me outside, how about that? Meaning I'm going to beat you up outside. We didn't even show the part of the clip where she came at her mom on the stage because her mom said she was mouthy. You know, what do you do with young people like that? What else is there but some tough love, you know, at a ranch or where else? You can't coddle kids like that.
Well, you know, I think every situation is different, and there are a lot of these children, teenagers and adolescents that my approach has been, I don't ask myself why you're the way you are, I ask myself why not, because if you look at their upbringing, and I'm not talking about this story, it was 5 years ago, I don't remember too much about it, but you know, kids are raised in different environments, and you got to look at each case separately. Some of them were raised in a lot of chaos and a lot of turmoil, and so they do what they have to survive. But you still have to protect them from themselves. And I think that the main thing is to, you know, get the child through that year, then get them through the next year, then the next year, and then pretty soon they're adults and you've gotten them through that tough patch. And that's the hard thing that parents have to make a decision about is, you know, what path do I take? And, you know, we point parents in a direction of, I try to be an emotional compass and point parents in a direction. If they're being inconsistent with their parenting or something, I try to point that out, put it on a to-do list for them. But the real work starts, you know, once they get home and have to realign what they're doing. And it's not easy in this day and time. There's social media influences, fast-paced life. Kids grow up really fast these days.
You know what, Phil? I got to tell you, the more I hear from teachers and coaches and other parents of the behavior of kids at school. I mean, I thought it was shocking when a teacher told me, 5 or 6 years ago, that the kids regularly drop F-bombs at the teacher, telling them to F this and F you and all the rest. And that's normal. And now my kids who are in middle school and high school say it is normal. How did we get to this point where you're allowed, A, to drop an F-bomb anywhere if you're a kid, and B, that you're allowed to do that to a teacher?
Well, you know, it's just a lack of consequences. And I think teachers are modern day heroes. I think they spend more time with our children sometimes than we do because they spend, you know, 8 to 3:30 with our kids, probably 40% of their waking hours. But there's a lack of consequences. You know, these children are really with adults that are hamstrung on terms of what they can do, in terms of what they can visit on the child in terms of consequences. Can they take them out of the classroom? Can they require them to do additional work? Can they put them into counseling where they learn better communication skills or whatever? And until we put that kind of thing in the curriculum, it's not going to get better. You know, we teach kids how to read and write and add and subtract, a little bit about geography and history, but we don't teach them how to live. We don't teach them how to deal with anxiety, depression, bullying. We don't teach them how to deal with all of those things, and that's got to become part of the curriculum. And until it does, until you put money behind it and time in the curriculum for it, then we're not ever going to teach these children how to navigate better and how to behave better. And I think that
Dominique,